Thank you very much for having us, and for Simona and for Christina for the invitation. We are Paradigma Ariadnè studio. I am David Schmilo. We established our studio 7 years ago together with Attila Robert Csóka and Szabolcs Molnár in Hungary, Budapest. And I also misuse this piece. We basically do architectural design and architectural cultural management, which has several outcomes: design projects, curatorial projects, editorial and teaching projects. But it's quite important, I think, to highlight that these kind of projects are not separated never in the studio. So these projects, which has different outcomes and different purpose, creates a continuous stream in the studio. This is the map that we draw about our activity a few years ago, that representing that if we have, I don't know, one kind of design curator project through which we gain some sort of knowledge about architecture, we hope and we are quite sure that maybe in the future we're going to use that kind of knowledge that we gain through that project in a design task, probably. And at the beginning, obviously, we were a young studio, so we had the chance to design installations for art festivals all around in Europe. So first of all, for the first, I'm going to design one project of it. This is the slanted house that we designed for Field of Sparks Art Week in Hungary. This is a pretty simple structure on a huge slant, which is, I don't know, we are always in search to describe our projects. It's a continuous discussion in the studio. If we figure out something, to try to name it, what is it? So the closest notion that we use for this is some kind of radical regionalism, or a building which has a radical relation to the geometry. Because if you consider a regionalist building anywhere, they also have nice shapes that is part of the landscape. But if you enter that building, the floor is always even. And we said that let's make an experiment with a building which is slanted, and the floor is also slanted inside. This is the conceptual background. But on the other hand, it's about fun, or make some sense for people. So if there's a children or other people who enter, they are happy to run up and down in the building, and this is just for them is simply just a funny thing. The key project, which is also of us since few years, because we haven't done anything which is realized yet, but they are on the way. This is also exhibited here. This is the rural geometries project that we realized on the rural countryside in Sándorfalva, Hungary. This project is basically about recultivation of a land, which you can see here. This is totally covered with reeds, but originally it was an open water surface. But since it's covered with reeds, all these original species, birds, do not come here anymore because they need open water surface. And the municipality decided to invite buffaloes to this place, or bring them here, and the buffalo is going to destroy the reed, and this place is going to be a fully covered water surface again, and those birds going to come back who need this kind of environment again. And thanks to this is actually a educational trail and a buffalo barn, which has some sort of conceptual, I don't know, image in our hand what we can refer on. One is the industrialized agricultural production, which is obviously occupied all our lands on countryside, and which has really nice aesthetic qualities, but they are unorganized in the term of architecture, because they are organized according to the production, the logic of the production. Also some sort of ancient or old kind of structures that was created by shepherds and I don't know, cowboy guys who were on the land before industrialized agriculture happened. And obviously not obviously, but it was some sort of inspiration for us as well, the Renaissance painting, how they handle the nature. It's always framed, so nature cannot exist just in this naturality, but this is a background of an activity. This is the land where we put the structure. This is from upwards, or the sky, as you can see. This is a 500 square meter, 500 long path along a 500 circle radius, blah blah blah. Sorry. This is what I referred before, the organized usage of this aesthetic quality that the countryside has, this agricultural production. So this is a crash of a silo and a barn, but in a designed way, not accidentally. And these are little places to observe nature and frame the nature and observe the structures through them and see how the buffaloes destroy the reed. and how different species going to appear. This is a belvedere at the end point from which you can see anything. And yeah, and the structure is pretty raw actually. So this is simple timber and simple metal that we were able to use, and we figured out that it would be good to use this kind of shushugi ban technique that Japanese architects and Japanese carpenters use mostly. They burn the timber pieces, but we are from Eastern Europe, so we don't have Japanese carpenters. So the local butcher was who helped us to burn these kind of timber pieces, and because he had this kind of flamethrower with which he mostly burned the pig, the hair of the pig, and that this is how this structure came to life actually, with some sort of communicative approach. And during winter there is snow. We are happy to be here because we are also interested to the topic of togetherness. It's important for us as well. 2 years ago, we were the part of the curatorial team of the Hungarian pavilion at the La Biennale di Venezia, and we created the project Ariadnè, which is introduced 12 modernist buildings from Hungary, which was designed and realized in the socialist period, and the exhibition searched for ways to reinterpret and rethink the problem of this socialist architecture, because now we have also capitalism in the country, but these buildings were created for a completely different society and economic circumstances. So we invited 12 architects from the region to ask them to reconsider one each building, and do not redesign it, but try to reframe it and try to interpret it in a way what could be the future of this kind of abandoned structure of socialist architecture. And the last project of us, which is an ongoing one, this is the No Place House series, which we created for, on one hand, for fun, and on the other hand, to keep our thinking fresh. Ongoingly, this is financed by the Hungarian Academy of Arts these days. This is a series, actually 27 buildings that we're going to design with no considering any typological and I don't know, surroundings and any place where it developed. Only the concept is important behind the building, even if it's a geometrical wish like this one, this 642 building, the name of this, and this is a simple geometrical shape. Or other funny things like the house from the grandma's curtain, which aimed to create some sort of feeling of the 2D image of a house, but from the other side it had this fake image of the building is all completely disappears, and the reality appears, and it's possible because it's a triangular shaped building from the top, and from each side you can see a fake grandma's house from a curtain. And I think it's important, and for this project actually we are searching for clients, so if any of you thinks that this is a funny building and you would like to live in this, we are happy to apply it anywhere, because it has no place, it can be anywhere. And it's important that this is not one team, it's not a one-man show, it's not a three-man show, but we are a team of architects. This is not the fresh image of our studio, but once we did few years ago, and this is a community of Paradigma Ariadnè, together with which we create these ideas and the buildings, and we are literally available on every channel, so you can reach us. Thanks.